Welcome to the Digital Duo Show with search engine marketing and optimization experts Robert O'Haver and Caleb McKelvin. What's the topic today, guys?
Search engine optimization and search engine marketing. Today I got with me Caleb McKelvin.
Hey, how you doing, Rob?
Good, man.
Back for another week of SEO.
Yeah, we're tackling all kinds of topics today. So if you have questions and you want to get them answered, please call into the show. We'd love to get calls. So the number here is 855-722-0006. You can call in anytime now. Again, that number is 855-722-0006. I think I missed a zero. 0006.
3 zeros.
And if you're on the mixler.com/digital duo, you can also chat your questions in. I'm watching the screen this time. And you can listen live.
Yeah, send in your questions. We'll, if we don't have the answers, we'll find somebody that does. But, we'll do the best we can.
Yeah. And today's topic, we're going to go over ways you can promote your website for free. Everybody knows how to do the paid stuff, but we want to give you the...
Well, I think the key word in there is free. I think we all like things that are free.
Well, absolutely.
I think this is actually a pretty crucial topic for our listeners. Whether you're building a site, whether you have a website. I don't know if have you ever seen the movie Field of Dreams, Rob?
Yeah.
So, you build it, they will come. I think some people have that mindset. They go through all the work of building their website, getting all their content good. They got quality content. Their website's user friendly. It's SEO friendly. They got everything good, and then they fail to do one thing, and that's promote their website. And they kind of have the Field of Dreams attitude. Well, we built it. Now let them come, and that's just not how it works.
Exactly. Now, we're going to go into several topics and even get into a little bit of detail with each one, but where would you like to start, Caleb?
Well, we'll leave the big fish a little later on. There's a lot of ways you can go, and, we'll touch on social media. I think that's kind of like the biggest way you can promote your site today. I think we can touch on a few other things that people might not know about or might not be involved in to promote their site. One thing I really enjoy doing myself with websites is joining online communities. And I think that's something that a lot of website owners are not involved in. And I think it's one way to, even within inside your industry, within inside your niche, one way to really boost your website, to get eyes on your site and promote your site, is join those online communities, join the conversation, let people know who you are.
Yeah, I think we should go into that a little bit more. A lot of companies, people tell them, hey, you need to be on social media, but that's the extent they know of.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. It's a lot bigger than social media.
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways, and we've talked about it, how good SEO, good promotion, good branding, good advertising, it takes time and effort. And this is one of those things. You can do the paid promotion. You can promote your website and pay the money, but if you just put a little effort in, you can do it for free, do it your own, still get quality traffic, still get eyes on your website, and still really boost your brand, boost your site, and do it all with just a little, sweat, little elbow grease.
Definitely. And these communities and groups that you can get in are huge. I'm like, depending on what topic you may be, there's usually a group for it. If there's not, there's a niche for you. You can start a group yourself.
Yeah.
And kind of become the authority on your products or services.
Right. I think one good one is forums. If you're not a part of a forum with inside your industry, I think you might be hurting yourself a little bit, because not only people inside your industry go to those forums and talk about things, but people who have questions, whether, whatever consumer it may be, that wanting to learn more about what your industry may have to offer, have specific questions, you can be on there, you can be answering those questions for them, and you can really be a voice, an authoritative voice, and promoting your website, promoting your services, promoting what you have to offer within that forum, and really be really authoritative within that niche within your industry.
Yeah, and it really doesn't matter if you're a product or service
Nope.
that you offer. I mean, it's all about your brand and you coming across as an authority in that niche.
Yeah.
And that kind of segues into social media. The same thing goes that way as well. Like, I think one of the fantastic platforms is Twitter for your business. If you know how to use it, and I like to say this because it can literally be a gold mine for your business. I mean, if you have a Twitter account and you start searching, in the top right hand side of Twitter is a search bar. Now you can put in very broad terms, like say if you sell watches, you can say, I need a new, like you can type in a vague thing like, I need a watch, and then hit a search, and you'll see those tweets come up with people looking for watches. And if you're a watch salesman, in this case, follow those people. You don't even have to say anything to them. If you show, let's just say a brand, Fossil Watches or whatever, and they see that that's what you offer, then naturally they're going to, and they look at your tweets and know, if you're giving details on your products and information, then they're naturally going to follow you and contact you.
Yeah. I mean, here's how I view Twitter. I kind of view it as high school. It's really kind of, it's probably the most social thing out there, but it's like happening right now.
Yeah.
And people love it to be part of the cool group. And being part of the cool group is having people follow you, especially if you have a lot of followers. They love that. That means they're part of the cool group. They having people, mentioning them. If you just mention them in a tweet, or you reply to one of their tweets, especially with the watch thing. If people ask questions on Twitter all the time, I do it. I shout out, hey, what's the best this, or what's the best that, or anybody have any suggestions for that? If you find people like that and you be like, well, actually, here's what you can do, and it's something that you offer, a service you have, then, you can be a direct line for them, and that could turn into whatever it may be, them purchasing something from you, or just gaining information from you, or just gaining a follower. Once you gain a follower, you somewhat gain their followers, because they might share your stuff, and get more eyes on it than you could yourself. But the thing with Twitter is you have to be active almost daily. I mean, It's something that you have to be hands-on with. You have to be consistent with. And if you are, it definitely has major benefits for your business.
Right. And it's almost like your website. You don't want to follow people that's not interested in your niche. You want to follow people that are genuinely interested in your product or service. So it's not about how many followers you got, or how many, it's all about sharing that content with the people that are interested. So if you have people looking for a watch, or, even if it doesn't matter what you offer, if somebody's looking for a website, figure out a term that somebody would say, oh, I need a new website, or for example, there's your web services. You can search for that. Another great tool that you can use alongside Twitter, and it's not a part of Twitter, is Google Alerts. If you see somebody posting, they need a web designer, or, you can't be as general, but if somebody's tweeting your brand, something you want to know about, right? So you can use Google Alerts for that. And that'll give people if they mention your brand or a product you're offering, a service you're offering, Google Alerts will send you a weekly or daily update on those things, and give you some place to look. And even if it's something in your niche that maybe somebody's blogging about, you can go, and this is another way you can get links, is just go to that person and say, hey, I saw that you just wrote an article on cloud computing or whatever. I do cloud services, and I can give you a lot of information there. How about, why don't you link to me about that or something, as a resource.
Right. And if you definitely need content ideas, Twitter is great for it. Whatever's trending, whatever people are following, whatever people are interested in, it's basically a lifeline to what people want to read, what they want to see. And, for your blog, for your site, if you're providing content and you run out of fresh content ideas, you're like, what will people actually put eyes on? What are they interested in? And Twitter is great for that. It's kind of a here today, gone tomorrow kind of thing in some ways. But if you can really find something that people are seriously interested in, and it's grabbing hold of their attention, and it's something that can definitely give you some fresh content ideas for sure.
Yeah, I have a video on my YouTube channel if you want to watch that. It's all about Twitter for business. I mean, I think that's a great video to at least give small businesses a way to understand the whole process.
Yeah. But for as far as promoting your site, and it's definitely a very useful tool. Whether you if you do have a blog and you're not sharing your articles or your content on Twitter, then you're definitely kind of leaving yourself empty-handed there and kind of coming up short-handed, because I mean, if you are writing something, if you are providing content, just share it with your audience and see what happens with it. You don't even have to share an article. If you just want to, if something is happening right now within your industry, some latest news or whatever may be going on, and you have something to say about it, say something about it. People, your followers want to know what you have to say. They don't want an empty Twitter account. Say something about it, share your thoughts, share whatever is going on, but, just make sure that you are active on it. That's a great way to get more eyes on your site, get more eyes on your brand, and really build some traffic.
Yeah. Social media is a commitment. So it's almost kind of like marriage. If you're not going to use it, don't create an account.
No.
Don't even use it.
You hurt yourself.
Yeah. Because it's kind of like your customer walking into the store and you have nothing on the shelves. Everything's empty.
Right.
That's a good analogy, I think. Don't you think?
Yeah, no, I think it definitely is a good analogy. I mean, and we like to follow. I know on Twitter I follow a lot of people. And the thing is, why you have to be so active is the feed goes so quickly.
Right.
That's why you got to keep active on it. Mention people, respond to people, repost things, share content, whatever it may be. But you just kind of be active on it, because they'll be checking their Twitter account, they'll be checking their feed, and if you're only on there once a day and they scroll past you, then you're gone. I mean, you're just an afterthought until you pop up again. So make sure use your Twitter account, use it wisely, take some time, be committed to it, and it'll definitely be beneficial.
Yeah, and it's not all about just posting too. If someone asks you a question on Twitter, or somebody leaves you a message on Twitter, be there to answer it.
Yeah.
As soon as possible, even if it's negative. The greatest thing to do is, nip it right in the bud. Talk to them right there and say, "Oh, I'm sorry." If you address their situation, even if it's bad, another person on another Twitter account will be like, "Oh, wow, this company actually cares about their customers. They're addressing the issue right away." A lot of people, most companies, they'll ignore it, and then that's probably the worst thing you can do.
Yep.
That shows the customer you don't care.
Respond. If a customer or if anybody reaches out to you, respond. That's just like Robert said. Even if they leave a negative comment or send you something negative, respond to it, and it might change their mind, but at least you are showing interaction, and that's something that's definitely crucial on social media.
Yeah, and you can really be creative too. If you can use things like Hootsuite or something.
Yeah.
Like you can have an automated thank you message. So if you followed somebody that was looking for a watch, in my analogy I used a while ago, your thank you message can say, "I see you were looking for a watch. We sell blah, blah, blah. Visit our website." Something like that. That could be your thank you for following message, or follow us on Facebook, or, something like that. And that can help you build your Facebook likes, as well as promote your website.
Yep. So yeah, Twitter's a good one. Of course, we can go down a long social media list. I think one that is definitely gaining ground big time, and I'll admit I really haven't figured it out, is Instagram. I'm not really that big of an Instagrammer.
Well, the demographic for Instagram is more female than it is male.
Right.
They definitely have the female market. So if you're a business selling, something that's skewed demographically to female, then, that'd be a great site to advertise on, or used as a social media outlet to promote your business.
But, I do think if that's one that you do have to be consistent with. I do have an Instagram account. I'm not very active on it, but I do follow people. I'm big into sports, so I follow a lot of athletes and stuff like that. But I also do follow some companies I'm interested in, and they are very active on it. And I will say that I enjoy seeing what they post on there. So, depending on what you offer and kind of like the audience that you're geared towards, Instagram could have its benefits. But it's definitely something that I think is still in the works. And, like I said, I'm not really an expert on it. My wife does love Instagram. She's an Instagrammer. She's all over it. She's big into home interior design, and she posts some things, and she gets a lot of follows from it. But if you have questions about what we're talking about, please feel free to call in. We would enjoy responding to those at 855-722-0006, 855-722-0006. What else what other social media we got, Robert?
I kind of want to go back and touch on Google Alerts as far as from a brand management standpoint. Google, when it spiders something and finds a complaint or a good comment about your brand, Google Alerts is awesome because, like I said, you can get right on top of that and respond to that customer in a very quick time, a quick turnaround time.
Yeah.
And again, that shows that you care about your customers.
Right.
So that right there, I mean, it amplifies. I mean, even if somebody saw your bad complaint, they'll see that you responded to them, and that goes a long ways than other than just ignoring it and letting it sit there.
Yeah. Well, I know I've had some personal experience with that, and cell phone service I use, I'm not going to name any names, but I was pretty kind of fed up with their cell phone service, and I'm not going to lie, I kind of asked them on Twitter why their service was so bad in my previous hometown, and they actually responded very quickly, and from Twitter, they actually called me and had a phone conversation with me, and it changed my tune big time, and I ended up leaving them a pretty good review as far as customer service and everything like that goes, and still a customer to this day. So I will say that it can make a huge difference in the time you respond and how you respond.
Exactly. And I had a question someone from Twitter asks. They want to know what is considered thin content or low quality content for the Panda algorithm. I know this is kind of switching gears here, but I did want to address your question. What thin content is something that, it's just a paragraph long, or it's, under 100 characters, or not characters, but a paragraph under 100 words or something that just doesn't give any kind of value to the site. So pages like that that's considered thin or low quality content because it doesn't add value to the site. I hope that answers your question, because you said you're not going to hear it until you listen to the show on YouTube. But
yeah,
if it doesn't, leave comments in the description or in the comment section below, and I'll answer that again one-on-one off the air.
Yeah, a thin content is, you need to make sure that you have detailed. I think the big word is value. A little small snippet or under 100 characters or 100 words or anything that really is just kind of like, leaves people hanging is really thin content. So I think you answered it pretty well, but we can go into more detail if you need more.
Yeah. I mean, you need to ask yourself, and we've touched on this before, but if it offers a person, I went blank, but if it offers something to the visitor and it gives a value, then it's worth it. If it's not, fix it, make it better.
Yeah.
And then because Google's not going to rank something like that if it's just a bunch of white space and no content. So
I think a good thing to do is get a friend, a coworker, somebody you trust to give you honest feedback about it. And, that's one thing I like to do. I think we kind of do between ourselves, Robert, on some things is absolutely. We love to give feedback to each other, honest feedback. And I think that's something that's very helpful. And, and also see what your competitors say. If they have a page similar that's ranking well, check out their content and, see what they're offering, not necessarily copy it or imitate it, but if you want to check length or something of that nature, it might be something good to go by.
Right. Now let's move on to, let's see. One of the things you want to do when you promote your website, when you're just starting out, or even if you're brand new, you want to go through and list your site with all the local directories, regardless if you're a national site or just a local site. You want to get listed in those major directories.
Definitely. I think if I'm correct, the majority of them are free. You can get your information listed. And it's especially on a local basis, it is really important to have your listings, have your company information in these. because I think for boosting your local brand, boosting your local presence is going to be crucial for it. But just remember that the main thing is you need to make sure that all your information is consistent, that everything is the same across the board, and that's going to be really important as far as your local information and actually promoting your site, so there's no confusion in the search engines on whether this is actually who they say they are compared to this one. Are these two different locations? Are these two different businesses? So you want to make sure it's consistent so there's no confusion whatsoever.
Right. And then a lot of sites like Yoast and stuff, they'll try and push you into getting the paid version, but I'd say 99% of them have free profiles that you can set up.
Yeah. That'll take some time. That's one of those things that will take some time to get all those set up. But the thing is, you don't have to do a bunch of them. You don't have to do 50 local listings. I would say 10, 15, 20 of the top local listing sites, and kind of get your information in those. Tell people that you're listed on those. Promote those as well. Get feedback on those. Those are going to be beneficial for you. If people leave reviews on those, comment, reply, stay active on those as well. But those are going to be a big, especially for local businesses and promoting your site and your brand. Right.
And also one thing that will help is that you take your time with each one. Maybe do one a day or two a day or whatever. Yeah. And every time you do your description of your product or service, make it different. Don't copy and paste it to each directory. Make it different for each one, and that'll give it a better chance of coming up in the listings.
Yeah, unique is very important with those. Right. Different images, different descriptions. Those can be different, but as far as your address, hours, phone number, email, make it consistent. Don't leave any confusion. But as far as the other content part of it, you can make those unique, and that's going to be helpful.
Right, and then one huge one, and because it's Google, I would say is your local business listing with Google businesses. I can't stress how important this is, because if someone types in your brand or something like that, they're going to get a whole kind of nice picture and detailed information on the right-hand side of the search results. So that's huge. It also gives you reviews on that company and everything. So it really gives an overview of that company. If customers looking for you and they see you've got great reviews and good feedback from customers, so that would be a huge Google Plus.
Yeah, that needs to be the
Google Business.
Pretty much, that needs to be the first one that you get listed in.
Yeah,
and that one needs to be consistent. Make sure the pin's right on the map. Make sure everything's good to go. Your descriptions. Make sure that is listed first, and
spend some time on that description. Make sure it's just as relevant as can be as far as what you offer.
Definitely, it's going to look nice and pretty over there on the right, and it's really going to catch their eye. Honestly,
if spend some time on it.
They type in your brand and they see that, it's really going to look professional. It's gonna look nice, and it's gonna catch their eye. If you got any questions, please call in 855-722-0006. Get those questions in, and comments, whatever you may have. 855-722-0006. We are talking about promoting your website for free and how you can do that. And
going on to, while we're still talking about Google Plus is just equally important. I mean, it started out slow, but they've got communities on specific topics. If you're a doctor or a real estate agent, they've got groups just for that niche. So you can go in and join those groups, share your ideas and information, and other people doing the same with you.
They were very active too. I will say that with my experience with those communities, they are very active. And people love to respond. They love to, if they find something of yours interesting, if they find, your content to be very valuable, you can have link building opportunities out of that. You can build really promote your site, get eyes on your site for that, guest posting opportunities, whatever it may be. But I think this is one where people miss out on and don't take the time to really invest their efforts in, but it's something that can really boost their site.
Absolutely, and the more all the stuff that you post in your Google Plus account will show up in the search results if somebody types in your brand.
Yeah,
which is great. I mean, for your Google business page. So the The other thing too is you can, if there isn't something in your niche, a community in your niche, start one. What better to make you an authority in your niche,
Right.
than starting your own
Then
community?
you can
and
monitor
people
this.
follow you.
You monitor this whole community, and
Absolutely.
people are coming to you and saying, "Oh, I want to be part of your community. I want to be in the conversation." They see every time they join that community, every time they enter that community, the conversation, your name, your brand, your site is right there, and they know that you're the one monitoring this. You're the one that is creating this community, and you really seem like, and you basically are the authoritative figure.
Yeah. And there again, you also want to provide content so that, just like we were talking about with Twitter, it's either do it or don't.
Yeah.
You want to come across as an authority in your niche or service or product, whatever you have. And you can do that by simply just, letting something know. If you can't find anything to tweet about, or, there's people that have written articles on your subject. Trust me, they're out there.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things you can use Google Alerts for, to find niche content that's already out there that you can share that might be good. It might be not written by you, but if you obviously would be great if you had your own blog and you were blogging about, or had someone writing about your product or service. So all that stuff that you tweet or write in your Google Plus or add to your communities, it's all going to your website.
Yeah. I think Google Plus is a good one to start conversations with people. Get on there. If you see somebody that has really shared something that really strikes your interest, or maybe you disagree with, or, whatever it may be, comment on it. That way everybody in that community can see it, and people love to respond to that. That's one thing I do love about Google Plus is on the little section, it has the comments, and you can comment on it, and it shows whoever's commented on it. And it really kind of starts the conversation going. And, if somebody makes a comment, you have something you can say to that, answer a question, whatever it may be. That's just one way to show that you, in layman's terms, know what you're talking about. You know what you're doing, and or you have something that they need, or, you have a service or an item that they need. It's just be active on it, be consistent with it, and really get down and dirty with it.
Another thing too is, if you're not a writer, there's Google Hangouts. You can do your own niche video and talk about your product or service right there. And that stuff you can share on your website, share on Twitter. You can just go crazy with it. And then you're really going to stand out, because it's not just content. It's you talking as an authority.
Yep.
Kind of like what we're doing here. You stand out because you know what you're talking about. And that's people naturally gravitate to that.
Yes, they do.
So let's see what else. I think that covers Google Plus, right?
Yeah, that covers Google Plus.
And then,
just go ahead and get started with it. You don't necessarily have to be active right off the bat, but get involved with it, see how it works, see what you can provide, see what you can do, and just go from there. But you definitely need to be active on it. If you are not, I'd say get started today, get started right now, and see what it can do for you.
Yeah, it'll do wonders for your site and bringing traffic. Obviously, if you point them to your traffic or
Right.
to your website. The other thing is, I'm gonna stick with the Google property for now, but YouTube. If you're an authoritative person, if you do your Google Plus, your Google Hangouts, your videos that can be posted on YouTube, you can do how-to videos, you can do educational videos on your product. You can do a unboxing and showing your product and giving details on how it works and what it does. Or if you're a digital marketer, you can go on there and talk about different things, like kind of like what we're doing, talking about social media or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
And it doesn't even matter if you sell just the simplest product. If you're demonstrating it, it can go a long ways.
Yeah, I think YouTube is one that surprisingly I don't see enough people, especially small businesses, utilizing enough. It's easy. It's very easy. If you can just upload a video, I think one of the cool things that, if you are into providing, if you're selling items, do an item review. People love item reviews. I mean, it's simple, pick the top 5 items, especially if you see that people are interested. If there's, I think one of the big things I saw the other day was the Apple Watch. I haven't really really reviewed the Apple Watch myself, but I saw a video on it. They were the high-tech watches that are coming out today, and I really watched it. It was really simple, and they broke it down for me, and it was a lot better than reading a long, descriptive article about it. It was very interactive. It really caught my attention, and I learned a lot, and it's something I found very beneficial. That's something I think that small businesses especially need to use. We're talking about promoting your website for free, how you can get more eyes on your site. If you have any questions or comments, call in at 855-722-0006, 855-722-0006. And like we said, YouTube is definitely an awesome platform.
Another thing that people can do is they can embed that video on their site if they, if you're doing a review and they're doing a blog post about that review, then they might take your review and put it on their site.
Right.
Some free promotion there.
Right. I think the cool thing about YouTube is you can really get creative with it. You can make it serious. You can make it funny. You can make it whatever you want, and people enjoy watching it, especially if you get it in the hands of the right audience. And it is something that will get shared. I like sharing videos on our site if I find something really cool, especially if it goes along with a content idea that I'm having and I find a video about it, and it's something I'm definitely going to want to embed on my own website or blog post or whatever it may be. YouTube is something, it's not something to shy away from. I know it might seem complex if you haven't really used it that much, but it's really not. And it's something that it can easily promote your website, promote your product, promote your brand. I think it's something that's very awesome.
And it's been honed in our head since we were a baby watching TV. Commercials, it's video. It's the greatest medium of all to advertise your product or service. And what better place to do it is YouTube. And you can even promote that video, or you make an ad out of it and promote that whole thing, and describe products or whatever, and then bring them to your site.
Yeah. And
you even have a place to write your comments, and if a customer has a question about the product, or you can answer it right there. I mean, it's great.
I think it's one thing that gets shared the most too across all social media platforms is videos. People like to share videos. They like to post funny videos. They like to post informational videos, whatever it may be, and share it with their friends. Hey, so-and-so, check this out. Or, if it's something that really hits home with them or they find very interesting or find funny, it's something people love to share. They like to share it with their friends. It's going to be something that if it's valuable, it's going to be shared, and you're going to get a lot of promotion just out of that.
Okay, we can take callers anytime now. The number again is 855-722-0006. Don't be shy, or you can use the chat on Mixlr to ask your questions, or you can tweet them. Do hashtag Digital Duo, and we'll be there to answer your questions. Now, I think one that's really overlooked, I think, too, is Reddit.
Yes.
Reddit can make things go viral. I don't know what it is about that site, but it brings in a ton of traffic. Especially with your videos, you want to promote your video, put it on Reddit.
Yeah.
And anybody that don't know a lot about Reddit, it's a category, and it's called a subreddit. So like if you have a category that is, let's say, real estate, or if it's social media, or it could be anything. There might already be a subreddit for that, but if there's not, guess what? You got your own niche.
You can create one.
That's right. And people promote it by, plus. It's almost like a plus, but it's a thumbs up and thumbs down. But I have seen content. I've seen many things, videos, products, all kinds of stuff go viral just off of Reddit alone.
Yeah. It's really crazy. That site is crazy to me.
Very basic.
It's very basic. It's just, I look at it and it's very useful. Sometimes I don't understand it, but it's amazing what goes viral on that thing too. People just thumbs up, thumbs down, thumbs up, thumbs down, and it just starts this wildfire that just takes off. And, for whatever reason it may be. So, it might be a shot in the dark. It might be a hit or miss. But the thing is, if it hits, it hits.
Oh yeah.
So it's definitely something that it's free, that you can be on there and promoting your website, promoting your content, promoting your brand. If you can get on there and you can find something and provide something that really catches their attention, then like I said, it's going to catch like wildfire. It's going to spread, and it's going to be in the conversation.
Absolutely. And, one thing I didn't mention I hate to go all the way back to Twitter, but I just thought of it. You can use all these other social media outlets, Twitter, Google Plus, YouTube, to build your Facebook likes. Like, you can, if somebody follows you on Twitter, you can say, hey, thank you for following me. Check out my Twitter page, or check out my website, and the social signals are very important as far as SEO goes as well. So, it can help you boost your ranks just by showing social signals, as long as they stay relevant in your niche.
Yeah.
So that alone is going to help you bring more traffic to your site.
Well, I think asking your audience for small things like that is not a bad thing. Just be like, hey, thanks for the follow, or, I understand we've been interacting for a while. Why don't you check this out? Something of that nature. Something very personal can definitely be beneficial. So it's definitely a very helpful tool.
Right. And if you're a content website, or if you're a product website, have your social signals on your website. Like if you have a watch, just to use that same analogy, and it's, you got your price, your description, all that stuff, have a social share button there. Show that. Or even, I've seen some really good instances. Like, I think last year when I did my taxes with Jackson Hewitt, when you get done with the checkout process, or the your tax form, at the bottom of the final checkout page is a tweet this, and it says, I just did my taxes at Jackson Hewitt. So it's like, man, that is awesome. That is just a great way to bring people in. If you're sharing that with your friends or your followers, especially on like Facebook or something, that is a great way to bring customers back.
Yep, definitely.
That's amazing. That was a great way of using it. And you can do that with your content. If you have one thing I would recommend with Facebook is maybe having that, that where it shows the picture of your friends in the share thing. That's great, because if your friends of your friends see your picture, and that goes a long way with, whatever site they're on, if there's a product or service on it.
Yeah.
I think that's huge, because, if your friends trust you, then obviously they're going to trust you. It's kind of a trust citation to the site.
Definitely. It definitely builds your reputation up, and you're going to gain more loyal followers and get more eyes on your site. But yeah, so Facebook, the mecca of social media, it seems like. I'm pretty sure if you do not have a Facebook account, I don't understand why.
I think it's only 10% of the world doesn't have a Facebook page.
It's pretty shocking. But yes, so Facebook is an absolute fantastic way to promote your site. And I think most of us already know that, but I think there are ways that people are doing it wrong. Wouldn't you agree, Robert?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a right way and a wrong way. And I don't think anybody's really figured out the totally right way of using Facebook to promote your site, to promote your content. But I definitely think people are doing it wrong. So,
it works very similar to like your Google Plus and stuff. You're going to look for community groups, that people with the same interests. A lot of companies, what they'll do is they'll use Facebook ads to bring that, to start that initial liking phase. And some people do it really wrong, where they'll go out and buy likes, which is ridiculous, and get your accounts shut down in some cases. Same thing with Twitter. They do that too. Yeah. Which is totally defeating the whole purpose, because it's not about how many you got. It's how many quality followers and likes that you have. So, one way you can do is, if you know what you're doing in your advertising, you can get cost per clicks to, anywhere 3 to 20 cents a click, which if it's bringing quality traffic, I'll take that all day. Right. But, you can promote your likes to your business page. and get that boosted up as well as long as you're committed to posting on Facebook. I mean, all of it, it's all a commitment. So you got to put your products and services on that page and don't come across in a salesy way. And this goes across all social media. If you're selling watches, don't throw it in people's face. If you're talking about the product and service, you can make somebody naturally follow you and promote your product or purchase your product.
Yeah, definitely.
Now remember, the number to call in to the show, we want you to call. It's 855-722-0006. That's 855-722-0006. Don't be shy. Come on and call in.
Well, I think the Facebook for paid advertising is awesome just because you can get very, very specific with the audience that you're trying to reach. But if you're just doing it, just posting your content, I think the visual aspect is very important. If you're visually not engaging or visually not able to catch the eye, I think, people just kind of pass over it. If you're, the description, the title, whatever you might be posting, it needs to be interactive. It needs to be engaging. You need to understand who you're trying to reach and what's going on. And like we said, you have to be consistent with it, and you have to be, really hands-on with it. And that's one thing also with comments, with mentions, with shares, with your own thoughts, whatever it may be. All these things, it all needs to be a part of your Facebook campaign and the Facebook experience for your users. It all needs to be a part of that.
Yeah, and one reason I mentioned that at least the way I do it, if I'm promoting a Facebook page, it's through ads, because with Facebook, you can target down to the age, interests, their title and their job, you name it.
Yeah.
You can so target it, laser focused.
Yeah.
So that
radio shows, TV shows I watch. I mean, it's crazy.
And it's all information you gave when you opened your account, by the way.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's, you thought the reason they wanted you to, like that TV show or whatever was because of that. But no, it's all all ties to marketing.
Oh, they know what they're doing.
So when you do that, we can laser focus it down to, the minute person that likes watches, or I'm going to keep using that analogy. But once you do that, then those people, if you're promoting likes for your business page, guess what? Those people are nothing but your customers.
Yep.
Those are your customers, and those friends of their friends see that their friends, like that page, and, eventually, before you know it, you got, just tons of followers.
Yep.
I mean, of course, this doesn't happen overnight, but that's a good way to boost it up and get it going fast.
Yeah. And another awesome part of that is the analytics that it gives you for your post, for your advertisement, for your promotion. The analytics it gives you and how it breaks it down is very useful. So you can adjust. Maybe a certain age group really doesn't care about what you're promoting that you thought would, but this age group is, or this gender or this demographic or this or that. You can adjust those to really get more bang for your buck.
Yeah, laser focus. And you can also take the those customers and drive them to your website, and then you can do what's called retargeting. So what retargeting is, it's a beautiful thing. And those of you that don't know what it is you can, if a customer visits your site and they don't complete an action that you wanted them to, like purchasing a watch,
I think Robert needs a watch.
No, I don't carry watches. But you laser focus those people. So you show them ads on Facebook of, that watch they were looking at or they were interested in. And it's the same thing with, you can do that retargeting with, your AdWords, and that's a whole nother show. But did you want to add anything to that?
No. I think we touched on it pretty good. Facebook ads are very, very beneficial. As far as organic and free, if you need to be very active on it. With all of this free promotion across the social media, the big thing is value and activity. If you are providing value and you are active on Twitter, Facebook, Google+, whatever it may be, your audience is going to grow, your promotion is going to grow, you're going to get more eyes on your site. It's just all about your activity and your value. Those are two things you need to keep in mind as you're going through and performing on these websites.
Right. And I just got a message from Rena. Thank you for listening, by the way. She brings up Pinterest, and a very good point that I didn't mention. I'm glad my listeners are keeping on top of us. But the thing you want to do with Pinterest is infographics. If you have a blog, those are great to get links, all kinds of stuff to your website and visitors. So, you put in infographics in Pinterest. Pinterest. Great source of getting traffic.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of stayed away from Pinterest for a little while. I kind of fought it back and didn't really think that I could benefit from it whatsoever. But it is actually, it's pretty awesome. And, a lot of say it's just for females or whatever. It's definitely not. There are a lot of cool things. I love, home improvement stuff, and the stuff they have on that is crazy. But as far as promoting your content, it's a very good platform as well. But like Robert said, infographics are awesome for Pinterest because it is very visual. And if you can provide a step-by-step or, a statistical infographic, something that has value, I think it'll do very well on Pinterest and do very good. So, yeah, I appreciate our listener bringing that up.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that doesn't amaze. Like, I've seen some amazing things for getting links from other sites.
Yeah.
Just because of the information you provided in that infographic.
Yeah. I actually got some guest posting opportunities from Pinterest as well, because, there's a lot of content sites on Pinterest, and providing those step-by-steps, providing that information. And it's something as far as a link building purpose or, a relationship building purpose, or a link earning purpose, as I like to say.
Or just authority.
Authority can be very beneficial.
Yeah. And you don't have to be a graphic artist to do this. Like I think I mentioned this in the last show, is you can go to like Fiverr for $5. You give them a list of, say, 5 to 10 different points that you want in your infographic, and then for $5 they'll throw out a beautiful infographic. I don't know how they do it.
Surprisingly, they are pretty good.
Yeah.
So, but no, yeah, Pinterest is a great one. I think one that we didn't mention, but I think is growing as it develops is Snapchat. Now that they have the Snapchat stories, I think is very cool, where you can add video, add text to it, and really get interactive with that, to where it's not just the 6-second clip or whatever and it disappears. You can actually send those to your followers and really get cool with it. I think they really enjoy those. I know the few big time sports outlets that I follow on Snapchat, they put some pretty cool stuff together that, kind of, it keeps me coming back and keeps me, like, oh, I definitely need to check them out today. Or, you just stay in their head, you stay in your customer's head, you stay in your reader's head, and it's another dynamic that you can offer them in their whole experience.
Right. And the other thing, we're getting close to the end of the show here, but I do want to touch on is do networking events. This is offline, of course. Go to networking events. Go to just get out there and spread the word. I mean, it's just like your business offline. If you're a brick and mortar, it's the same way you would promote there.
Yeah, definitely.
Give out your business cards to everyone you talk to. I mean, it just depends on how detailed. How you want to get into it.
And in our whole digital world that we have now, the old-fashioned way still carries a lot of weight, and that's a good handshake and a conversation with somebody.
Absolutely.
And at these networking events, a lot of people are like, well, not too many people show up or whatever it may be. Maybe you only get 5 people come by your table, or you may only make a few conversations. But with that, it's amazing that a good conversation, a smile, just getting to know somebody, like how word of mouth, how well that can do for promoting your business or your brand or your website.
Absolutely. And we got about 10 minutes left. And if you have some time, give us a call, please. Our number is 855-722-0006. It doesn't have to be on the topic we're talking about now, but If it's digital marketing, we can pretty much cover it. If we can't, we'll get you the answer later and get back to you. But again, that number is 855-722-0006. Call in with your questions if you can.
Yeah. Hit us up on Twitter, Mixer.
Yeah, I'm watching Twitter. I'm watching Mixer chat right now.
Whatever question you may have, like Robert said, it does not have to be on our current topic, which is promoting your site the free way, which is something we do like. But yeah, if you got digital questions, hopefully we got some answers for you. And they also will help our other listeners, because I know I was always afraid to ask questions in class when I was in school, but when somebody else did, I was really grateful that they did, because it usually was the same question I had.
Yeah, even if you're a pro in this industry, if you have something that you think that's good content, something that somebody wants to know, that should know, we can definitely elevate that and talk about it.
Yeah. But when we talk about promoting our site, there are a couple of things that I have found myself that I just recently started using. They may have been around for a little bit, but slideshare.com, I think, is a awesome website and something that is very great as promoting your content. If you can put a slide to it, it's a real good content community to get on there. You can get really creative with it. You can, whatever designs you may have, it kind of looks like a, what am I looking for? A presentation, a PowerPoint. Excuse me. It kind of looks like a PowerPoint, but you can actually be really more interactive with it.
Yeah.
Where you can give awesome content, provide links to certain content, whatever it may be. But slideshare.com is one I recently started using, and I think it's pretty cool. It does take some time. You do have to get pretty creative with it. You do have to take some time in creating your slides, but it's definitely something I think people should check out.
Guess what? We got a caller.
A caller.
Frank, you're on the line.
Hi, guys. How are you doing?
Hey, Frank.
Hey, Frank.
Question is, for small companies doing social media, marketing, it's very time-consuming.
Oh, tell me about it.
What software would you recommend in order to help, either a small company or an individual to do social marketing?
I'd say Hootsuite is a really good one. It does all the major social media outlets. You can schedule tweets, you can schedule Facebook posts, you can do all that stuff from that platform.
Yeah, definitely. Hootsuite is awesome to where you don't have to revisit your social media 100 times throughout the day. You can take a 30 minutes to an hour a day, whatever time you think you need to give it, and set, when you want these tweets or when you want these Facebook posts to send out. And so you don't have to go back, post, 100 times a day. You can set it, and those will be scheduled for you, and you'll have your daily interaction, your consistency right there for you.
Also on Facebook, you can actually schedule tweets there.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah,
I'm not tweets. Sorry.
You can schedule posts.
You can post them and then schedule it as far out as you want. Any certain times of the day. Obviously there's certain times of the day you want to post as opposed to others, because you can get more shares and that type of thing. But
there's a pretty awesome, I can't remember who shared it. There's a pretty awesome graph on when people are actually most active on each social media. Like, when do they check their Twitter? When do they check their Facebook? And it's pretty cool. It's something you definitely need to check out. But, and you can kind of gear your post on when you're going to share those around that. But Hootsuite is definitely an awesome one. I think the main thing is you set those posts, you set those tweets to be shared. The one thing that is going to take a little bit of time is commenting, replying. Anybody who does interact with your post, that is something that is going to take a little bit of time.
I have one more question from Mixler. How are we doing on time? 5 minutes? Okay. I'm going to, Rini, I'm going to try and cover your question here. Let's see. Do you have a good source on how to use LinkedIn to generate traffic? Absolutely. I love LinkedIn.
That's one we didn't touch on.
Yeah, I know. And I can't believe we didn't do that, because that's a huge one. what you can do, the same thing is there's groups, interest groups. It's just like Google Plus and Facebook, but on crack, so to speak. There is groups of thousands and thousands of people that are interested in your product or your service or in the industry that you're in. Those are great ways to get a lot of good information and content out to people that are interested in your product. And again, if you don't find something in your niche, you can start something and promote it on there, and then get people to follow that group, all in your interest. It's the same way. I think that covers it. And you obviously, you want to stick to people in the interest. You can, and the same thing with LinkedIn, you can look for people. If you want to do advertising, you can do that, and you can look by title of job. If you're a B2B business, you can do that. Groups are great for B2Bs.
Yes.
If you could jump in, if you're a person selling marketing to real estate agents or something, you can jump in a real estate group and market to those people. If, as long as you're not spammy, because you don't want to get in those groups and spam them to death.
No. That all goes back to value.
Right.
As long as you're adding the value, people are going to see you as an authoritative figure, as quality. And it's all about, you don't want to be any type of spam alert for anybody, because you're going to shut off a lot of your audience of who you're trying to reach or within that community. So, make sure you take time and provide a valued response or valued content. And I think you'll see good things come from it.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to handle it, is if you have a blog on your site, or you're coming up with content or product services you offer, put it in an article and then share it on those groups. Those groups, the same way, almost like Twitter. If you're talking about a specific thing that they're interested in, obviously they're going to check it out. They're going to go to your website, and that's where you can then do your somewhat selling or informational about the product or service. I hope that answers your questions. We are just about done with the show here. Again, we'll take one more caller, 855-722-0006, 855-722-0006. You're welcome. Anybody else have a questions? Okay, I guess we're done with the questions. Caleb, you got anything you want to add?
No, I hope we're able to provide some pretty useful information for our listeners out there today. I think it was a pretty good show.
Yeah.
If you do have any questions or comments after the show, please feel free to still connect with us on Twitter and social media and ask those questions. We can always respond to you directly and bring them up on our next live show. I think they'd be awesome for our listeners as well. So even if you have questions after the show or something, you may have a comment, we'd love to hear them. Definitely. Even if it's not on air, we'd love to hear them.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at Robert O'Haver, which is at ROBERTOHAVER. And Caleb, what's your?
I'm at CJ_MCE. Connect with me. Please connect with either one of us. Shoot us a tweet, shoot us a question, a comment, and we'd love to address it. And, we interact with you.
Yeah. And there's, you can catch us some good information on. We always put the show on YouTube, on my YouTube channel. So if you go to YouTube/Robert O'Haver, all the information and videos are there on the show, and then other stuff that I talk about for business and Twitter and everything. But that's the end of the show, guys. Thank you for listening.
Yes, thank you.
Thanks for your participation. And
we'll
see you next week.